Do you enjoy that crinkly sound? I absolutely love that sound. And I really love that sound when I can put it into my journal. Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy to see you today. Today, we're going to be working with styles of ephemera with that crinkly sound. Won't you join me? Let's look at this one first. I used a large paper clip for the closure, and it has not only one doily, but it has two doilies, and you can actually write on this doily if you wish. And then it has a nice pocket right here. And oh yes, it has that crinkly sound. You could pop this into a pocket, you could put it on a flip, you could tuck it into a corner tuck. There's so many things that you can do with this. I love using doilies. Flip books are always fun. I like this flip book. It's got the hard cover on the top as well as the hard cover on the back. And I've stapled it, but you can't see any of the staples. A little stamping on the front. And yes, the pages have that crinkly sound. Maybe you would like to have a type of a pocket that has a hard cover or a hard flap. So I made my little pocket and I actually attached my paper so that I could have another tuck spot back behind. So I have a tuck spot behind as well as the tuck spot in front. Just used a little piece of paper, folded it over to make the flap, and I attached some pattern paper ruffles, a little wax seal, and a label. Once again, you could put it on a flip or you could just pop it into a pocket. You could also glue it completely down on a page, leaving possibly the top open so that you can get the paper clip off. And then you would even have another tuck spot right here. I love making this one, whether it's out of tracing paper, and that's what this is. Coffee dyed tracing paper is what I used. It has a pocket here and a pocket here. I covered it with some beautiful lace, a little bit of thread, and a sewing trim flower with a flat back pearl. I love this. I love the color of having the journaling cards just plain. You could definitely put a fussy cut on here if you wish, but there's another idea. Once again, a flip or glue it down on three sides, making another tuck spot behind it. Envelopes are my downfall. I love envelopes, and I made an envelope using the coffee dyed tracing paper. Oh my goodness, isn't that lovely? And the sound is yummy. A little doily, some pattern paper ruffle, some bling, and then a piece of ephemera on the front, a little bit more ruffle, and a touch of bling. This is a different style of flip book. It doesn't have a hard cover, but this cardstock does wrap around to the front, so you still can't see any of the staples. A little pattern paper ruffle, some thread, a sewing trim flower, and some flat back pearls. And of course, we have that wonderful sounding crinkled paper. Here's one here that I used some nice trim, nice wide sewing trim here. I sewed around the edge on this one, and it is a pocket this way. We made one, I showed you one, very similar, but I put the paper on the back for the flap. This one is the tracing paper is the flap. So it is a lovely pocket. You can always take your coffee dyed tracing paper and fold it the size of your page and add it just like this in your signature. It will make a lovely sounding page in your junk journal. let's make a piece of ephemera together. My page here is about 12 inches by 9 inches. And when I coffee dyed my tracing paper, now I use a sponge to coffee dye my papers. I don't dip it in the slurry anymore, pull it out, put it in the oven. I don't do all that. It's too much time, takes too much electricity, especially in the summertime. I use that sun to dry my papers when it's hot outside, and when it's not hot outside, I either scatter them around the house or I put it on my standing heater, my standing electric heaters. I only do that if I'm sitting right there in the same room, never leaving it overnight. Here's one of the tracing paper books, and I take my tracing paper out from the book, and then I take my sponge brush and I just paint the coffee on top of my tracing paper and let that dry. I do not coffee dye the back. It seeps through, and that is not necessary. So just one side, painting your coffee slurry and then letting it dry, and you will have something like this. Let's go ahead and fold this. Oh, let's see here, in thirds, maybe something like this. So what is that? About 4 inches. So let's line this up, and I'm going to fold it approximately 4 inches. And then I'm going to fold this end over like this. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to fold over the top just a little bit. I'm not going to fold it over a lot, and I'm going to turn it this way so I can try to gauge and make it as, what is the word I'm looking for? Straight. A straight fold. I'm looking at about 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Now what this is going to do, it's going to strengthen this tracing paper so that I can get things in and out of it. Using my art glitter glue, I'm going to glue this down. Now I'm going to fold over this side approximately 1/4 of an inch. And then adding my glue, I'm going to glue that fold down. All right, back to our trifold. We folded it here, and then we folded this one over. And now what I want to do is fold it the long way, right like this, and give it a crease. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to refold that. I want to fold it so that the flaps are on the outside. I folded it where the flaps are on the inside, and I don't want that. I want the flaps on the outside. So I'm going to refold that in half. And here's my little flap right here. I'm going to open it up, and you can see where it's creased. I'm going to fold that over just like this. And I'm not going to go all the way to the fold, maybe something like that. I'm going to glue this fold down. Now put it back the way it was. Now you have made yourself a front-loading side pocket. You have got a little pocket here, and you're going to have a pocket here, and we're going to turn it over like this. And you've got a loose flap right here. Open it up like we did before, so we've done it here. And we're going to fold it right down, just like this. Taking your glue of your choice, and glue this down. Now, if you have a sewing machine, you could take it to your machine and you can sew all the way around if you wish. It really will give it a very nice look. But if you don't have a sewing machine, it doesn't have to be sewn. That's only an extra layer. Now, I do want to take my vintage photo and the sponge, and I want to ink up all the edges of this little piece that we're making together. Doesn't that sound wonderful as you ink it up? All right, all inked up and absolutely looking beautiful, don't you think? To show you what it looks like when it's sewn, I'm going to go ahead and sew it. But now you can see what it looks like unsewn. Let me sew this and we'll see how it looks when it's sewn. All right, now you can see that I've sewn around the edge. I did not sew this end right here, and that's because that is the end that's going to go inside this piece of ephemera. So it's not needed to be sewn. So it's going to look like this once we put it all back together. And I want to go ahead and I want to glue this piece right here down. Just right here, just that flat area. Alrighty, with that glued down, it folds like this. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here on this side and a little bit of glue on this side. Now we have this piece of ephemera put together. We've got a pocket here, we have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, and we have a pocket on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets in this piece of ephemera. Let's decorate this up a little bit, shall we? I have a little doily here. I have coffee dyed it. I thought it would be really sweet if we pop it right here on this pocket. So what I want to do is I'm going to just add a little bit of glue onto my doily, and then I'm going to lay it in place. Turning it over, I'm going to trim this doily around my corner. I have a little bit more of the doily here, and I can just add a little bit of this doily. I think I will go ahead and trim this completely off like this. And I can either add it like this, but I think I'll add this one over here like that. Adding just a little bit of ink on that area that I trimmed. All right, so I have this side of the pocket decorated, and I have this side of the pocket decorated. Let's concentrate on this side. I have just a few pieces of scraps, just a little piece of lace, and I was thinking I would like to put a little something down here at the bottom. I have a button that I've added a little thread through the holes, so I'm going to trim just a little bit of this net. That should be enough. And I think I want, do I want something heavier on here too? I'm not sure. This trim up, oh, that's sweet. Okay, so how about a little bit of this heavier lace underneath this, yeah, something like that. I'm liking this a lot. All right, I also see maybe you could use some stamps on here. Some stamps would be really pretty. I'm going to switch to my Surebonder high tip glue gun because it just makes it so easy to do this when I'm doing a video. Instant gluing down. I don't have to wait for the glue to dry. You know the routine. So I'm going to pop this little piece of sewing trim right here on the top of my pocket. Oh, that's super cute. Then I'm going to add this little piece of lace right here. Grabbing my silicone stick, pop that on there, and I kind of like it that it's a little bit raised. You see it's kind of raised off the paper, and then a little bit of net on top of that. So we're just layering up little pieces here, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of glue right in the center. I'm going to add my button. You could add a little small piece of ephemera in here, and you can add some larger pieces of ephemera inside. Absolutely love this style of ephemera. It's easy to make. You can make it out of the tracing paper, or you could even make this out of regular lightweight paper. I enjoy using crinkly tracing paper, and especially when I coffee dye it for pieces of ephemera, for pages in your journal. I hope you've gotten some ideas with this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.